What's going on, everyone? Yes, today is another toy review, and yes, today I'll be reviewing the Guyver, which is controlled by Sho Fukumachi. Now, this toy is made by Max Factory Figma, and it looks amazing, and I played around with it a bit before I did this review, and I have tons to talk about. So, first and foremost, if you don't know where this character came from, he came from a manga series, an anime series, a new anime series, 2 OVAs, and also 2 live action films. This character been around a bit, so anybody of the late 80s, early 90s know who this character is and probably love this shit out of this character, such as myself. So right off the bat, let's jump into detail. And you can see just as much as I can see, this figure looks great. Top to bottom, from the back, from the side, they did an amazing job. I'm extremely happy with the quality of this figure. The cool thing is I'm going to be able to show you the old versus the new, so you can see exactly what improvements that Max Factory has done versus the old stuff. Let me focus for y'all real quick. There we go. And I'm doing everything by hand, so bear with me, y'all. And that is a full 360 of this great looking character. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you height comparison. Zoom out a bit. Give me 1 second. And let me back this camera up a bit. There we go. So good old Sho here stands about 6 inches tall compared to a SH Figure Arts figure, which is good old Piccolo there. He actually if you're gonna put his horn in the height, it's the exact same size because of his horn. Then comparing it to the old school Guyver got him beat by quite a bit. Okay, so you can actually see the exact height comparisons, and I'm gonna go over everything as much as possible. So this might be a nice little review we got going on today. So beyond all that, I'm going to show you what this great figure comes with. Zoom back up real fast. Give me a second. And let's go over the hands first. You're going to receive, there we go, some nice chop hands, some grab, or pretty much the hands I can grab onto something. I don't know exactly why they came with them, because there's nothing for him to actually grab onto, so that's kind of odd, but whatever. It's always a plus to have. You get these hands, which is kind of like the sprawled out finger hands. You can use these for multiple poses. They're really known for, well, for this particular figure, for his gravity attack that he does, that he kind of use that same hand expression. And then you're going to get like some grip hands. Now these grip hands actually is for his Mega Smasher, so you get those as well. So in total, you're going to get 5 sets of hands. All right, so you're going to get that. And let me grab his other 2 items. Give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. You're going to get a Guyver unit, which is done very well. It's pretty much, when it comes to the accessories, is exactly the same as the old school. You're just going to get more hands versus the old school, and you're gonna get one accessory that the old school didn't have. You're gonna get 2 high frequency blades, which pretty much really simple. Same tone color as him. Little bit of darker tone on the edges quite a bit, just to kind of make it pop, depending on the lighting that you give it. All right, so you get 2 sets of those, and then the new accessory that you get, which I will show you how it goes on a little bit later, is an extra chest piece. And there's a reason for this extra chest piece. So it's not just sitting in the box for the hell of it. You do have a reason for this, and I'll show you how this works. And it just pegs onto the body itself. So that is all the accessories that come with good old Guyver, along with the standard Figma stand, Figma bag, you know, the typical stuff. Now, we're gonna get into the articulation. All right, give me 1 second. Let me zoom back a bit. All right, so right off the jump, let me make sure we got some good lighting here, because I want to make sure y'all see all this great stuff going on. So this figure has amazing range of motion that the old school just doesn't have. This one blows the old school out the water when it come down to posability. So as for the head, excuse me, you can turn a full 360 if you like. All right, and if you notice, he actually has a little vocal cords. The old school doesn't have that. So even though this is smaller, it actually paid more attention to detail, which is really nice. Excuse me. So you're gonna get that going on down there, and this is actually, if I'm not wrong, it should be attached the same way as these shoulder pads. They're looped around the joint, so you don't have to worry about it tearing up on you or getting ripped. And it actually feels very, very sturdy. So I'm actually happy with that type of quality that they give on this figure. So, but beyond all that, your head can go 360. It can come down a bit. Goes about that far down. It goes about that far up. Now, this is where it gets really cool. And it actually has a better joint than the old school. So the old school was able to turn left and right, but that was all. It couldn't do like any type of rocking. Like you see how this one rocks a little bit? It couldn't do that at all, and it couldn't tilt down or up on the head joint. It only can tilt down because of the neck joint. Well, this one actually has that head joint along with a neck joint. So you can actually push this down. It's kind of stiff still because it's new, so be careful when you get yours. And his head can damn near go into his chest. And what's nice about this, even though I pushed that neck joint forward, everything stays flush. Looks really good. Looks really good. So that's part of the articulation that you're gonna get going on. Excuse me if I'm messing up on words. I'm pretty tired, but I'm gonna do my best, so excuse me for that. Going down to the shoulders. So the old school, if y'all seen my old school review, that was one of my biggest gripes that I fucking couldn't stand. The shoulders are held on by nothing on the old school one. It's just literally cupped on the joint, which is a piece of shit. And it had the tendency is when you lift the arm up, that goes flying off. Where in this one, some really smart ingenuity here. So the way this one works, it's actually a piece of rubber, and I don't know if I can get y'all to actually be able to see this. Let me see if I can. I'll try to focus in on it so you can actually see it for yourself. But it's really, really nice. Let me see. It's kind of hard, but you see that little black strip that's in there? That's actually like a rubber band. Or not like a rubber band as like a cheap ass rubber band, but it's like literally a band that's made out of rubber. And it's looped around the ball joint. So no matter where you bend this arm or take this arm, it's gonna never fall off. Really, really awesome idea. I'm really happy they did that. They nailed it. Like, that's really nice. It looks good, it stays flush, and it doesn't look awkward when you move his arms around. So you can do a full 360 on the arm. You can come up about that high. All right. Coming down a little bit above the bicep, you have a full 360 swivel. So the bicep can spin all the way around if you like. Coming out to the elbow, this actually has a little bit going on that's slightly kind of the same of the old school and a mixture of the new school. So where the joint goes into the bicep, that's on a peg, which is attached to a swivel. Okay, so you get about that much bend going on out of his arm from his chest. Now, dealing with the old school is on a double hinge. That didn't work great at all because 9 times out of 10, the arm actually came off. The only difference between the old school and the new school, the old school can clearly get his hand all the way to his chest. New school can't. You can bring the arm in. You know what? I'm a liar. Sorry. Excuse my lies. But so both of them can actually pull it off. They can both do chest bumps. All right. So you get that. Now going into the into the forearm, this actually sits on a ball joint. So if you notice, I can kind of rock that a bit, and that's why. And that's the kind of somewhat of the same, actually no, it's not the same design. It was actually a peg on the old school, and the peg was so faulty that you can actually do this as if you had a ball joint attached. So it was a huge improvement on the elbow joint, huge improvement. Now coming down to the wrist is on a single hinge, goes about that far in and can go about that far up. And you can do a full 360 with the fist if you like. All right. Now coming down to his abdomen, you can actually tilt about that far forward, which is roughly around the same amount of distance that the old school had. So that's how far you can tilt forward. Huge tilt back. And I think the old school may be able to do that. Can't really remember. But clearly it has this funky gap going on. So you won't technically push it that far back. That's as far as you can take it before exposing like emptiness. Now going down to the waist is also on the ball joint. So you get this huge pivot in the waist where you can kind of like just tilt them to the side, which is awesome. Let me bring this down a bit. And if you look at the old school can only swivel in the waist. It can't pivot to the side or rock to the side rather, whatsoever, besides the top half, which clearly the other one can do. All right. So that is what you get dealing with the waist on the new one. Moving down to the crotch, let me go ahead and come down here. You have a ball joint. Now, what's nice about this ball joint, his range on his leg is crazy. So he can actually go all the way up, kind of like if he was doing an axe kick. So he goes about that far up, this far to the back, and about this far to the side. So you can actually do the full split. All right. Now dealing with old school, this is what makes this new school definitely really nice. I didn't want to crap. Anyway, this is actually a harder plastic on the hips. So your legs can go all the way up like the new school, but because of the rubber, it's so strong, it kind of prevents the leg actually from staying up. Where this one is so soft, it actually is firm. You don't got to worry about it falling back down on you. And the cool part is, over time, with all figures of this nature, normally the rubber will literally start going back to its original state, and then it'll go back flush again. So you know, if you do a pose like that, it'll stick out a bit, but then as time progresses, it'll just shrink back down to regular size. You're going to get swivels in the ball joint area. Let me zoom up a bit. Sorry about that. There we go. You're going to get some swivels down there. So this can actually swivel in and out, which is really nice. All right. Going down to the knee, you have a single hinge. Get about that much range. Looks really good. Really, really good. Really like this whole layout. Looks nice. Going down to the ankle, you get another hinge. Get about that far down, about that far up. This is a whole lot better than the original. Original one can barely do anything. So that is as far as the foot going on the original. It's pretty sad. Plus, this one doesn't have any type of toe articulation. This one does. And there's a nice range on there. So this figure really does do an amazing job. Now, last but not least, let me show you the perks of old versus new. First and foremost, let's look at the high frequency blade. Come up a bit. All right. Now, the way this actually works, you pull this part off, and it has a nice little groove in it. Okay? And the slot matches the same groove. So it's nice and firm, easy to remove, and you don't have to worry about damaging it. Now, if you do own the old school, you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. If you don't waste your time getting the old school, because one, it was high as shit, and it's definitely not worth the dollar that people was asking for. So on this one, let me go up a bit. This is on baby pegs. Now you see how easily I was able to remove that? Like, if I shake this toy, this will actually fly off. Like, it's horrible. It's a piece of shit. The joint that's inside there, which is a peg attached to a ball joint. Why is this attached to a ball joint? I have no fucking clue. It's just, that's the way they designed it, which is a very dumb design. Now, coming down to the chest, let's take the Mega Smasher, for example. If you notice, my Mega Smasher just kind of fell off. It can go back on, it's not broke, but it's a metal rod, and the Mega Smasher is actually attached by this little hole in it, which goes on top of the rod. Now, this has a tendency to always fall off because it's not on there in any type of form sturdy. Where this one is actually a way, 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 way better design. This is actually on swivel joint attached to the chest. So you don't gotta worry about nothing falling off. Really firm. Really good. Like, it's solid. It's really nice. Alright. Now the only thing that the old school definitely has over the new school, and you probably see it already, is the chest paint job. The Mega Smasher paint job on the original is hands down way better than the new school. I won't sit there and lie. I don't have to lie because you see it for yourself. It has a more organic look on the old school, where in the new school is just silver like paint in there. It's pretty whack. So if I had to make any bad thing about the new one, that would literally be the only thing bad. Like, seriously, it's the only bad thing. Other than that, the figure easily surpasses the old. But that's one of the downsides of this actual figure. Now, coming down to something else about this figure of old school that used to drive me fucking nuts, and I can't think of it right now. I will say your hand joint is on a nice sturdy peg, which is easily removed and easily put back on, so you can change the hands out really nice. On the new school, is actually, I'm sorry, on the old school is actually a cheap peg, kind of like how the blade is, and it literally can fall off. The hand will fall off too, had a tendency to fall off. So this figure stays in this box 90% of the time. It like never comes out. Like this is probably the only time I'm gonna take it out again is to do this review for y'all. Other than that, this thing is going back in the box and just gonna stay in there because it's way too delicate. Oh, last feature. On the new joint, you can remove his chest. So the reason of you moving this chest part, which I spoke about a little bit earlier, is that it's not there as just an extra piece. It's actually there because of a pose that you can put Mr. Guyver in. So this pegs right into the front. And this chest piece is solely for this pose that I'm about to try to do. I really can't remember exactly how it's done. I know enough to pull it off. But so you snap that on the front. If you notice, it looked like he got breasts. Reason being is because the whole move supposed to be show with his arms out like this. And he's doing his gravity attack. And then you put like the little flat hands on, and it looks like he's throwing it. Well, logically, and this is from the artist in me, it makes sense because if he was to actually try to do this attack, he will literally flex his chest muscles just by doing that, which will cause his chest to bulk out a bit because he's pushing his actual arms up against his chest. So it makes sense why it slightly stick out a little bit further than usual. And this is a really nice thing because you're able to pull off a pose that you wasn't able to do prior, and it's done with ease instead of you actually having to fight with the toy. So I really think this is really, really cool. As for posability, like I said prior, great posability. If I was to tell you, will I recommend this figure to people that's Guyver fans? Absolutely. This is by far, this has to be in my top 5 toys that I own. I will say part of it is because, yes, it is from my childhood and I love Guyver a lot, but the biggest reason is because it earned it. It's a great figure. It's a really great figure. Because as much as I like the old school, I can tell you 1,000 reasons why I hate the old school, and that's when it was only the old school and it wasn't this nice new figure that you see in front of you. So overall, if you was thinking about getting the figure, if you have the opportunity to pick him up, pick him up. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So that is the review. Hope this actually helped you out on your choice. If you decide to buy it or not buy it, I would definitely show you poses at the end of this video so you can actually check out the cool poses that you can actually pull off with this great character. And thank you again. I really mean it. Thank you, new subscribers, old subscribers. Thank you truly for checking out my page. Thank you for constantly coming in, giving me feedback. I always hear great things from y'all. I'm gonna do my best to constantly keep giving y'all the truth about the toys that I purchase. I refuse to give y'all shitty reviews about toys that I clearly don't like and then tell you that they're great, because I won't do it, because I refuse to have y'all buy some shitty shit that I bought. So that being said, hope y'all have a great night. Have a great holiday. If y'all don't celebrate Christmas, no big deal. Hope y'all have a great day if that's the case. And hope y'all have a great new year when it comes around, just in case if I don't have another toy review up. I haven't been on hiatus. I just really haven't had nothing I want to review. And all the stuff that I actually can review now, I do have the new Snake figure from Play Arts Kai. If you'd like to see me review that, leave a comment below. Tell me if you want me to actually do a review on it. I just haven't done it because there's already great reviews on that figure. But if you just want to hear me ramble and talk shit, be my guest. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know what you want me to do. And I also have the Dread figure. I forgot the name of the company. Can't think of it right now. But the 12-inch Dread figure. I actually have that one as well. It's a really great figure. But like I said, if you really want me to review it, let me know. I'll make it happen. But all in all, I'll stop talking. Y'all check out these photos. Check me out on Instagram. Some of y'all actually follow me from YouTube over to that. I do toy photography. I haven't done that lately, but I will be doing it soon. I promise you, I'm not lying to y'all. And I do a shit ton of art on a day-to-day basis, from small sketches to big shit. So check me out. Y'all have a good one. Peace.